every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx saved you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities. So it puts less stress on our household and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
Everybody's got a podcast these days. Comedy, politics, true crime, you name it. But how many actually teach you anything useful? Harman Solar has an entertaining podcast that is vital if you've been thinking about looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Ralph and Ben explore the intricacies of utilities, equipment, processes, and more. Their primary objective is to educate and empower you to make informed decisions on your solar journey. So increase your knowledge, not your bills. Go check it out right now. It's the Harman Solar Podcast at harmansolar.com.
Head coach Bobby Hurley and Sun Devil men's basketball are ready to join the Big 12 Conference. This season, the Sun Devils host conference foes Baylor, Iowa State, Arizona, TCU, and Houston, all at Desert Financial Arena.
And another steal ahead to Miller, and Miller reverses it up and in, and he's fouled. Holy moly.
Join the action and get your Sun Devil men's basketball tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM. Wherever you go, take us along. Listen to our live stream on our free Fanatic app. Download it today.
Here we go. It's another Tuesday and another day after Monday Night Football. This is Beat the Book. I'm Keon Rose. Alongside me is our betting expert, Dylan Cohen. And we've got a lot to talk about. Obviously, Monday Night Football last night. We're going to break that down, get into it a little bit. We're going to talk a little basketball today as well. The NBA Cup games start today. And some of you may care, some of you may not care, but there's always betting reasons to care. So we'll talk about that as well. Get a look at Group B, where the Suns are situated, and talk about their chances of maybe getting out of that group and maybe even winning the NBA Cup. We'll talk about the games that are on today, and then we'll end the show with the picks as we do. We are broadcasting live from the Harman Solar Studios here at 1580 The Fanatic in sunny Uptown Scottsdale. And you are on the text line at 888-368-1580. How did you do yesterday with some of your bets? Because last night was a kind of a mixed bag for us around here. How did you do? Was everything good, bad? Did you manage to make some money? Some of you guys throw together some incredible parlays. I'd love to see what you guys managed to come up with and how that worked out for you, or didn't, but that happens sometimes. So get that. And before we get to any and all of those things, Dylan, who powers the show?
We are sponsored by Sport Trade. So if you have not already, check out Sport Trade, download the app, get your account set up. You can use promo code 1580 to take advantage of their cashback promotion on new account signups. And I actually just happened to open up my Sport Trade app right as we were getting on here. And it dawned on me, and we haven't really talked a whole lot about this, because we don't get too much into the boxing or the UFC, the combat sports. Definitely enjoy watching that stuff. I will dabble with betting on it from time to time. There's a bit of a novelty fight, I guess we can call it, that's happening this coming Friday. It's going to be on Netflix, and that is the exhibition boxing match between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. And this is a fight that's been in the works for a while. It was supposed to go down in July. Mike Tyson had some health issues, had to ultimately push it back a little bit. So we're finally getting this fight. And you can actually wager on this on Sport Trade right now. I just happened to get my bet in for Mike Tyson. He is priced with a 31% likelihood of winning that fight against Jake Paul. So if you're someone that believes in Mike Tyson, thinks he can get the job done, you're going to get a little bit over 2-to-1 payout on Sport Trade if you bet on him. And we'll have more to talk about, when it comes to this fight later on this week. But Keon, you are the boxer out of the two of us. So I have to imagine you have some strong feelings about this fight.
I have some strong feelings about the fight. I think in large part because I just don't like the fight. The novelty fights have got to go. I know that people like the novelty fights, and I've had some people say, well, it's a really good way for people to get into boxing. Really? When? When was the last person you met that watched a novelty fight that said, wow, what a great sport? I'll watch the people who actually know how to do this. It's never happened. You just like the novelty. Just admit it and watch the novelty. I will not be watching the novelty, though I might bet on the novelty. That might still happen. The odds look tempting.
It's like, you know what? We're not entertained by professionals fighting each other anymore. We want YouTube personalities. Get in the ring, throw it down. That's a way better fight.
YouTube personality and a 58-year-old man boxing. That's what people want to see. It kills me because I grew up watching boxing with my dad, and I mean they had the ESPN classic stuff up, and we would watch all the old fights. You'd watch Duran and Leonard, and we'd watch the Thrilla in Manila, and like all of these classic fights. And then, I saw Mike Tyson in the 90s, which was not the best version of Mike Tyson, but there was still always that feeling like he's going to figure this thing out and put somebody to sleep. Like those were really great fights. I remember watching the Lennox Lewis fight when I was a kid. Like those were fights. What is this?
I mean, just imagine though, like what if Mike gets this knockout? I mean, that will be some of the craziest TV I think that I will have at least ever seen in my lifetime. If we see,
if that actually happens, and Baker's Cocky Hens is wondering if he's thinking it might. He said, any odds on Jake leaving with 100% of his ears? Oh no, that's always a threat. That's always a threat to go sideways. Mike Tyson,
you might have to look at like Polymarket or Kalshi for one of those like one-off scenarios.
I'm sure someone's offering it somewhere. I don't know what the odds would be, but somewhere you could probably find it.
So, like I was saying, that is available on Sport Trade, and Sport Trade also offers the tape where you can just scroll through and you can see all the bets that are getting placed in real time. So I happened to notice I saw my bet go on the tape, and then someone else came in and like put double the amount of money I put on Jake Paul. So Sport Trade's already getting action on this. There's people who definitely fall on either side of that fence. So definitely excited to talk more about that. Once we get closer to it, that fight again is happening this coming Friday. But Keon, we had Monday Night Football last night, and it was here on 1580 The Fanatic. And this was a game that I don't think it really happened the way most people thought it would. I know analytically we felt like the Rams had the upper hand going into this yesterday. And then the game starts, and it just turns out that this Dolphins defense is no joke, and they were able to contain the LA Rams. They were able to hold them to just 6 points in the first half, and they would go on to hold them to 15 points strictly off of field goals. Final score in that game last night, 23-15. Dolphins win in LA. And look, the money line bets, those did not hit. And it's funny because like you look at this with either team, and on the Dolphins, the team wins, but you look at their players and how they performed, and it seems like almost every single player must have gone under. Whether you were Devon Achane and trying to hit the over on rushing yards, that didn't happen. Tua didn't get the over on his passing yards. Not a whole lot of receiving yards to go around because Tua only had 207 passing yards. And then on the flip side with the Rams, they don't win on the money line, but their players perform. And if you were doing things on Rams player props, you probably had some success.
Yeah, I had a pretty decent night with Matthew Stafford and the 275 passing yards. That was pretty good. And I want to say Yeah, I think Puka went over on his as well, and
he definitely did.
Kyron Williams might have went over because it was like 40 something with Kyron Williams. So yeah, no, like the Rams hit all of their overs. They just couldn't get into the end zone.
I would have to think this is like the perfect storm for Vegas and for all the sports books where, you know, if you're thinking about creating a same game parlay for this game last night, you feel really strongly about one team or the other. You're probably doing some combination that involves that team you feel good about winning plus the players on that team doing well, you know, or vice versa. So I have to imagine there were a ton of parlay combinations where it was like Tua to go over on his passing yards, and maybe Tyreek Hill to go over on his receiving yards, and like a Dolphins win. And then the Dolphins win, but those player props don't come through. Or there were probably things on the Rams where Rams to win, Stafford to get over on his passing yards, and Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua to go over on their receiving yards. And all those players do their part. They all play extremely well. And then the Rams don't win.
Yeah, because like what world is it where Matthew Stafford throws for 293 yards and Kyron Williams is going and Puka Nacua gets nearly 100 yards of receiving and 98. All of those things hit and the Rams don't win. Usually those two things go together is your players play well and then you win. That's usually how that goes. Not so much last night for the LA Rams.
So if you were able to craft a winning parlay, text us. Let us know about it. We want to read it out on the air, 888-368-1580. If you do follow the Beat the Book picks, we went 5 out of 10 yesterday on the picks. So we split them 50-50. There are a new set of 10 bets out today on that Beat the Book website. You can get there by following me on Instagram. The account is at Beat the Book Fanatic, all spelled out. You just hit the link in my bio. That'll take you right to the Beat the Book website where the bets are posted each day. Likewise, you can visit 1580thefanatic.com and just click on the Beat the Book with Dylan Cohen logo, and that'll take you right to the place to get to where you can see all these picks that we post. And, you know, outside of the NFL stuff that was up there from yesterday, there were some NBA bets. We did okay with those as well. Definitely just wanted to shout out Victor Wembanyama. He had a really crazy stat line last night. He went for 34 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 blocks, and the Spurs ended up defeating the Sacramento Kings by 20 points, and they were a underdog coming into that game. So I definitely didn't see that coming. The Spurs might be really starting to put things together here. They did recently get Devin Vassell back, who's second best player on the team outside of Wemby. And, you know, when it comes to our Phoenix Suns, this could be a little problematic. And I say that because the Suns are grouped up with the San Antonio Spurs for the NBA Cup. And the NBA Cup group play is starting today. And this is important because the way that this whole NBA Cup thing works is the teams are all split into different groups, and those groups are decided based on the standings from last season. And then what happens is between now and December 3rd, on every Tuesday and every Friday, the NBA does their NBA Cup Day. So all the games that take place are these NBA Cup group play games.
And you can tell because the court looks hideous. They've got to do something about that. Like the cup version of the court could be a really cool and interesting alternative to the regular game so that you just visually, you turn on the TV and go, oh yeah, today's a cup day. But they're ugly. They're just hard to look at.
Well, and we'll have to see how that's changed between like last year and this year, because you're right. Like, especially these teams, like I know the Kings and I want to say like the Knicks, like they're choosing colors out of their color schemes that like just should not be the color of a basketball court.
No,
you should never have a basketball court that is just like gray
or just like monarch purple. And that's the whole court. It's burning my retinas and I would like it to stop.
Or like bright orange, you know, if you're the Knicks. And then they have like some contrasting jersey that pops out. And...
like the Wizards went the full red, white, and blue, and it looks garish on TV. Like it's just, there's too much red and there's too much blue everywhere. It's hard to look at, man.
So, I mean, conceptually, I think it's a great idea. I think doing some kind of differentiating, color schemes, whether that's the jersey or the court, to make it stand out and to help show the significance of it being that NBA Cup game. I have no problems with that. But hopefully they learned a little bit after, the pilot year, which was last year. And maybe they said, hey, that Indiana Pacers court that is like bright neon yellow, like that doesn't work for the TV audience. It might look cool like in the arena,
Yeah.
but
And I could see how that works too. Yeah, but it's not on TV. It doesn't work well at all because when you add all of the lights and everything, you have just filled my living room with light, with yellow Indiana Pacer light. I just can't stand it. That's just
it's
stuff
no,
bothers me.
I mean, it gets to the point where it almost kind of like hurts your eyes, like depending on whatever vibrant colors they're choosing to really emphasize with, whichever team is playing. So hopefully, I mean, we'll see. I mean, jury's out on that. I haven't seen what the courts look like for tonight. I don't think they're running back the exact same thing. I
No.
will actually be surprised.
I think they're going to change it because even the alternate uniforms this year have changed. So you have to assume the courts look at least a little bit different. Taking a quick look at the text line, Ninernapolis says, hey, I kept it simple going with my gut that the more desperate team, the Dolphins, would win, and took them on the money line, and the under at 49.5 hit for me. Definitely didn't foresee the Dolphins defense playing that great, but I'll take it. Sometimes you got to zig when everybody else zags. So that's Ninernapolis. And then Baker's Cocky Hen says, hot take, Şengün better than Wemby currently. I don't know that that's that hot of a take lately.
I mean, lately,
He's not saying like eternally, but
I can't
now.
totally disagree with that. I mean, they call Şengün Baby Jokic for a reason.
Like it's not. I don't know that that's that hot of a take. Baker's Cocky Hens. I think you're right.
Well, and to that point, last night, Şengün went for 27 points, 17 rebounds, 3 blocks at home against the Wizards. So, I mean, Şengün is another guy that is getting things done. Now, could Şengün, follow this up with, a similar stat line with like increased blocks? Because that's where I think things kind of differ between him and Wemby. To Şengün's credit, he's had back-to-back games now of 27 and double-digit rebounds. So, I mean, he very well could outplay Wemby this season. We'll have to see how that continues to evolve. Ninernapolis, nice hit on that parlay. And maybe this is just kind of a lesson that we all take from a game like last night, where, maybe you kind of separate your bet on how that team is going to do versus how the players on that team are going to do. Because had you done those things yesterday, probably would have helped anyone,
you
make
probably
some money.
might have walked away with a nice chunk of change because almost nobody puts together a parlay like that.
So, and these are the kinds of things where it's just like hindsight is 2020. I mean, I'm not going to knock anyone for not doing that yesterday, but you see the result of the game, you see, where you might have slipped up, and then you just hold on to those things and you take them into consideration for the next bet. That's all. But going back to this NBA Cup, the teams that are in the Suns group outside of the San Antonio Spurs, we have the Utah Jazz, we've got the LA Lakers, and we've got the Oklahoma City Thunder. And the nice part about this group, up front, it wasn't looking so good with the Lakers playing well to start the season, and obviously the Thunder doing very well out the gate. But the Thunder just lost Chet Holmgren, and they looked pretty good still last night against the Clippers. They struggled a little bit more than they did the first time that they played the Clippers. But going forward, Chet is out for the next 2 months. Chet is completely done with NBA Cup. He's not going to factor into it in any way, shape, or form. The Suns are missing Kevin Durant, but they're very likely going to have him back within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's like 9 days or something left on that now, 9 or 10 days.
It could even be less than that. And these group play games are going all the way through December 3rd. So, yes, we won't have Kevin Durant for this first game tonight against the Jazz. Quite frankly, I don't think we're going to need him to win. The next Cup game after that is against the Thunder. And now that the Thunder don't have Chet, I would say that game is winnable for us, without KD. If we have KD and they don't have Chet, I'm not worried about the Thunder. But even, as things stand right now, that's definitely a game that the Suns can win. If they don't happen to win it, well, guess what? there's a couple more NBA Cup games down the road. We actually get a break for the next couple of days of NBA Cup games after that. So by the time we play that third group play game, KD is going to be back on the squad. We're going to be doing okay. So, when you start to kind of think about how these group play games are going to go and what kinds of things you can do to bet on them, in the next segment, we're going to talk more specifically about bets you can make for the games happening tonight. But there is a whole futures market right now that is currently available specifically on the NBA Cup. And if you're thinking about a team like the Phoenix Suns, who's been playing so well right now to start the season, they're priced at 33-1 right now to win the NBA Cup.
I like those odds.
Prior to Kevin Durant getting injured, they were about 12-1. And to me, this looks like a massive overreaction about Kevin Durant missing 2 group play games. And like I just said, I mean, if we lose to the Thunder on Friday and we win tonight against the Jazz, we're 1-1. We go ahead and win those next 2 group play games. And that would be against the Lakers, and then that would be against the Spurs. If we happen to finish 3-1, we're probably coming out of this group. We're advancing to the knockout round. And at that point, we're back to full strength. We're playing some of the best ball in the league. We definitely have a fighting chance. So at 33-1 odds right now, I definitely like that bet.
Yeah. So go ahead and open up your app. And look, it's just the numbers are too nice. They're too nice. And this team is too good when they're healthy, and they will mostly be healthy for this. Big Jake on the text line says, most of the courts are cool. A few are a little busy. Most of this year's City Edition uniforms are gross. The cool ones, Memphis, Charlotte, boring. The Mavericks, the Bulls, and hideous Suns, Boston, and Brooklyn. So I don't. Okay, so you're okay. The text there got a little jumbled there, but I see what you're saying. So he's saying that Memphis, Charlotte, and the Mavericks have the coolest courts, and then the worst ones are the Mavericks, Bulls, Suns, Boston, and Brooklyn. So we'll see. I haven't actually taken a look at them. I know they put the designs and stuff out there, but I'll just be surprised tonight. That's what's going to happen.
So I don't know why I didn't think about doing this either. I'm looking at some of these courts right now. Huge improvement.
Really?
Huge improvement. These look sharp.
I'm gonna take a look and see what the Wizards one is, because I watch all the Wizard games, you guys. I'm sorry that I do that to myself, but I do. I'm gonna take a look at what they're doing and see whether or not I'll be blinded for the next couple of months going on here, because last year was brutal. So I'll take a look at that, and then when we come back on the other side, we're actually going to talk about the games that are happening tonight. Some of these NBA Cup games look really, really interesting. Got some great storylines, and obviously some good stuff to bet. You're listening to Beat the Book right here on 1580 The Fanatic.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Live and local.
You okay?
Sorry, I can't sleep with this cough.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with NyQuil VapoCool. It's NyQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
So you ready to get some sleep? Thank you, NyQuil VapoCool.
NyQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing nighttime coughing, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Direct savings and client focus, the cornerstones of the Diamond Dave philosophy.
Hi, I'm Diamond Dave Cantor. My team and I at Desert Wholesale Diamond can be your trusted friends with an inside scoop on the diamond world.
Just like they are to thousands of people around the world.
And just like we have been for over 34 years.
At Diamond Dave's, it's all about the diamonds and the savings, not paying for high-end retail locations or the overhead of a mall.
You stand to save big time with our by appointment professional office approach combined with direct importing.
When you choose Diamond Dave's, you choose huge savings, top quality, and excellent service. Call, email, or message us for an in-person appointment.
Or sit back and relax for free FedEx shipping anywhere in the USA.
Call Diamond Dave at 480-397-2450. That's 480-397-2450. Or follow him on Instagram at Diamond Dave Cantor. That's at Diamond Dave, KANTOR. Store.
In most countries of the world, Forte means door. United Forte Custom Doors, located in the Scottsdale Airport Design District, is now open with over 40,000 European doors, all in stock, ready for delivery, and at wholesale prices. Designers, contractors, builders, and yes, you. Come see our showroom on Greenway Hayden Loop. That's United Forte, Porte. Stop by to see and feel the quality at United Forte Custom Doors. Find us at uporte.com. That's uporte.com.
It's fall football season, and Kasai Japanese Steakhouse is doubling down, now with 2 Valley locations. When it comes to Asian cuisine, no one does it better and more authentic than Kasai, where talented Teppan chefs create the food, the fire, and the fun of teppanyaki. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse isn't just dinner, it's dinnertainment. A memorable dining experience where a delicious 7-course meal is paired right at your table with flair. It's a perfect choice for celebrations, date nights, or a night on the town. Choose from over 30 different items and combinations of teppanyaki, Asian fusion, and innovative sushi. Happy hour is always on fire and offered daily with specials on their Asian-inspired comfort food like Korean steak tacos, Mongolian barbecue ribs, and signature Wagyu beef sliders. Always a memorable dinner, or catch the game and a bite at the bar at Kasai. Now with 2 locations, Scottsdale Road in Thunderbird, and in Peoria at the 101 in Northern. Go to KasaiTeppan.com. That's KASAI Teppan.com, or search Kasai on your mobile phone.
1580 The Fanatic and at 1580thefanatic.com.
Your home for sports.
So I was looking it up during the break. Big Jake said before we went to break, the Wizard City Edition uniforms are one of the better ones. I saw the uniforms. They look nice. Those look really, really good. But the court, I looked it up. The Wizards decided to stick with the pink colored court, which, you know, like that's one of the colors that they've used in city uniforms before, because in DC, in the springtime, the cherry blossoms bloom. So like the color of pink is very much associated with that town. An entire basketball court being pink could go either way. That could look really nice because it's a softer color than the just red when they had red everywhere last year. Or it could just be blinding to the eyes. I can't tell.
There's like a watermark of like a hand like stretching out over
it's the Bullets hand. Like the Bullets logo had like the L's in Bullets were 2 hands reaching up for a basketball.
Okay,
and so they still use that in the logo, like the in the DC part of the logo, the long part of the letter D is a hand reaching up for a ball. So that's what the hand is for.
I'm going to go ahead and take back what I said before. Some of these courts are an improvement, and I think the NBA picked up on, you know, not leveraging like the really crazy vibrant colors all over the place.
And at least like the teams that picked the color kind of picked one color. So like the Raptors have purple, and it's darker in the middle and it gets lighter as it goes out, but it's all purple, which sounds bad. But last year they would do like the purple and the black and the red, and the key would be black, and then inside the 3-point line would be red, and then everywhere else would be purple. Like it was unwatchable.
The Timberwolves court. Did you see what that one looks like?
Let me see if I can find
that one. To me is kind of giving me vibes from last season. That's like, I'm not gonna like looking at that court.
I actually
TV.
like the Suns court. The orange with
the Suns one. It's not trying too hard.
Yeah,
and that's where, you know, like I'm looking at this like am I gonna enjoy watching basketball on TV on this court? The Suns one, I don't think I'm gonna have any issues.
Oh my
with.
God. Yeah, no, I just saw the Timberwolves court. That you can't put that on TV.
Yeah,
that's green. That's just all green. It reminds me of the Oregon Ducks when they play basketball. I hate their court too. Like it's your normal brown hardwood court in the middle, and then it's got these green trees as you start to get to the sideline. I can't stand it. I think green is the worst. Just visually, it's blinding. It's not even a hideous thing, even though it's also that. It just hurts to look at. If you had a headache and you were watching that, no, you're not. You're just, it's going to put you to bed. I just genuinely, what are they doing?
So, I mean, other than that, the Pelicans and the Oklahoma City Thunder courts, they're kind of trying to do the same thing. And I just don't think it's going to go over that well. Like really dark, kind of large, zoomed in picture of like your team logo.
Yeah.
So that one doesn't look so great. The Portland court.
The Pacers one is my favorite one.
Oh, let me
It's
find
blue and it says "Boom, baby" on the ground. Right? It just
Oh, I did not see that here. I'm pulling it up right now.
It just big block lettering. Boom, baby.
Oh, that's
I like it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's cool.
And it's the color, it's the right color to where I'm like, okay, it's not going to kill me to look at.
It's got kind of a similar dynamic though to the Oklahoma City and the and the Pelicans one, where it's just like a dark blue court and then it's very zoomed in. This one's a little bit different because they've actually got the Pacers logo in there, colored normally. It contrasts well. So that one it doesn't bother me as much. The Portland one is the one that I'm not completely sure about because it kind of looks cool on my computer right now, but
yeah, some of these are theoretically cool, and then we'll see if it actually.
Portland put like rose petals kind of like all over their court, but it's in this like kind of dark gray, lighter gray sort of contrast.
So, oh yeah, that could go either way. I guess we'll just have to
wait and see. Exactly.
But the Rose Garden, I like it.
So, some interesting new touches to the NBA Cup games this year. That's one of my favorite things about the NBA. It's such a proactive league. They're never going to be just sticklers about this stuff. If something doesn't work, they'll call it out right away, and they'll try and make some adjustments to improve it. So, definitely looks like they got the memo on the courts from last season. Now, looking at the games for today. I think the best place to start is going to be with our Phoenix Suns. They are taking on the Utah Jazz. And like we were saying, just before we went to break, we're not going to have Kevin Durant for this one. But the team was very competitive in that game against Sacramento. We did ultimately lose that game, but that was another one where I mean, it just came down to, the final 5 minutes, and the Suns against the Kings had the lead and then eventually lost it and had to fight their way, just to get to a place where they could tie that game and force it into overtime. If we have Kevin Durant for the final 5 minutes against the Kings, I don't think we're talking about that game being a loss.
No, because Kevin Durant was the closer. And I do think that anytime you have a guy like that get injured, there's kind of a readjustment of, okay, well, now who is the guy that's responsible for getting a bucket for us in crunch time? It was obviously KD when he was out there. I think that they were a little bit more confused, Booker and Beal, as to who that person was supposed to be when Durant's not on the floor.
So, you look at this game for tonight and, how the Suns are going to match up with the Jazz. And Utah features a center that shares some qualities with Yusuf Nurkic. I'm talking about Walker Kessler. Kessler is much younger than Yusuf Nurkic, but very similar, type of physicality, very similar, just, build. He's not a very quick center, so it's not someone where Nurkic is just going to be chasing him around all night. They're actually pretty equal in that category. So I would hope that, Nurkic is going to be around for a lot more playing time tonight because he was not able to stay on the floor against the Kings. And that also hurt us in that matchup as well. So assuming we get, 25, 30 minutes of Nurkic here, I believe that's going to be the difference maker in, the Suns not winning against the Kings versus being able to get a win against the Jazz here. Nurkic did roll his ankle. I think this happened a couple of games ago, and that was what limited him against the Kings. It wasn't so much that other narrative that we've talked about where, it might be concerns about how he's fitting into the offense. I don't think that that's really so much a question anymore. It's just more so, is Nurkic healthy? Is he in, game condition? If he is, let's get him out there. Let's have him do his thing. Something that I think does need to be acknowledged about this game is Tyus Jones and the way that he has adapted so far without Kevin Durant. Tyus Jones very quietly has shot 60% from three in each of his last two games. He's made 9 3-pointers in his last two games. So, obviously Durant not being there, there's an extra 18 to 20 shots to go around. They're not all going to go to Devin Booker. and they're not all going to go to Bradley Beal. There's going to be some other beneficiaries of, that void that's going to be created by Durant not being around. And Tyus Jones is a guy that's been able to step up, and he's been able to, help shoulder some of the load on offense. So I look at this matchup that he's going to have today with potentially a Keontae George, a Colin Sexton, and these are, both capable guards, but, stacked up against a guy like Tyus, who's got a lot more time in the league compared to those two. I see these as matchups where Tyus Jones can just continue to do his thing and keep eating.
Yeah, especially since you don't have Durant in the lineup. And I noticed that, Booker has been having a pretty solid assist season this season as well. Without Durant out there, I think Booker is going to try to shoot the basketball more. And that's going to lend itself, I think, to more assists for Tyus, just because, it's not him passing to Booker and then Booker passing to Durant, or like making the right basketball play. I think they're going to still continue to do that, but there are going to be some shots where that's just the Devin Booker show because of how much they need him to be the guy to get a bucket. Big Jake, hold on to that thought. Big Jake shared an epic 14-leg parlay with me, and I want to get to that, but I'll get to that on the other side of the break. Baker's Cocky Hen says, I like Book to get 10 assists tonight. What do you think about that, TC?
I definitely find it intriguing. I myself have not placed any big wagers on Booker to have like a big scoring night. You look at his line on points for tonight, and it is fairly high. It's 28.5. And, compared to last game where Bradley Beal was actually the guy that led us in scoring, I'm just not completely sold on Booker kind of falling back into that more traditional role that we've experienced him doing, which is just being, the all-out scorer in this case. I definitely think there is potential for Booker to keep kind of pushing down the path he's been on, where he's being leveraged more as a facilitator. And it's the Yusuf Nurkic's, it's the Bradley Beals, it's the Tyus Jones, Royce O'Neal's, Ryan Dunn. You're going to see some Ryan Dunn tonight. He typically gets the start when Durant is out. I mean, these are the guys where collectively you may see them come in with the points, and Booker's just kind of really hanging there as more of a decoy and racking up assists. A lot of that was going on during that Kings game, but at the same time, Booker is just such a talented scorer that there's always that chance that, he's going to get his. So that being said, 10 assists might be a stretch. 8 assists, I definitely like him for at least 8. But if you take him for 10, I mean, you're getting over 2-to-1 odds there on FanDuel right now. So, that's a nice way to juice a parlay there for a bigger payout. So it could definitely happen.
Yeah. So there you go. Let's get to Knicks and Sixers, and then we can do Warriors, Mavs, and Raptors, Bucks on the other side. But let's start with the Knicks and the Sixers. Who do you think has got the edge in this particular matchup?
I think the days of the Sixers being one of these bottom of the barrel teams of the NBA are done. And Keon, you and I were talking about this a little bit before we got on the show here. There is a big rivalry that is taking place within this matchup tonight, outside of the Knicks and the Sixers themselves just being a rivalry between those two teams.
They already don't like each other.
But you've got the battle of the centers. You've got Joel Embiid and Karl Anthony Towns. And Karl Anthony Towns and Joel Embiid, they go back. They've got a pretty public rivalry. There's been on-court disputes. They've had one another in like a headlock at times. That is the way that rivalry has gone down between them. And if you know anything about Joel Embiid in a rivalry, the man is insanely competitive. He does not like to lose. And these rivalries tend to bring the best basketball out of them. So I'm looking at this game tonight with the 76ers. They are a 3-point underdog, and the Sixers are going to have Paul George. They're just not going to have Tyrese Maxey. That is a big blow to them, but I think there's enough to work with here for Philadelphia. This game, in a weird way, is almost like their new season opener. Like, whatever 10 games have already taken place, that like the Sixers look at that as like the preseason, and tonight is like game 1. And, they're starting, from in the hole, but Joel Embiid, he's going to be excited to get back on the court. I think the Sixers have a great chance at winning this game and to take them on the money line. It's a good value play. They're currently priced at plus 130, but do not sleep on Joel Embiid tonight. I know we all kind of think about him, just coming off of those last games of the playoffs last season. He was injured. He was in a weird place. He clearly was not playing his best basketball. And now what's happened is his health is fine. He's actually in a very good place to be able to, come in and play at a high level. He had the altercation with the reporter last week, which led to his debut getting pushed back by another 3 games. So at this point, he's not playing not due to his health. It's due to something else completely entirely different. If you look at what people are saying about Joel Embiid with how he looks at shoot around and, what they think he's going to do tonight, everyone is very, very big on Joel Embiid going out and producing today. So I would be looking at Joel Embiid points. I'd be looking at his rebounds. Those are both going to be great plays to make. But overall, I'm leaning towards the Sixers in this one. What about you, Keon?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the Sixers too. I think Joel Embiid is fresh. He's healthy. And we did talk about before the show, like Joel Embiid could actually go for 40 tonight. And I think that that's possible. I mean, we had a bet. If you go on the Beat the Book website, he's the bets for 30 with Embiid. But if you went 40, like, I don't think that you'd be crazy to do it. Though obviously your odds are longer, but that means your payout could potentially be bigger.
Plus 1,000 right now, Joel Embiid, 40 plus points. It's really not that crazy.
I just think that, like, I think Embiid carries the day, and I'm leaning with the Sixers as well. Baker's Cocky Hen says Maxey and Brunson also seem to be extra when they go against each other. I hope the Knicks wipe the floor with Embiid, but he probably scores 50. Yeah. Also, I don't think Maxey's playing tonight. Baker's Cocky Hens, which makes it, quite frankly, more likely that Joel Embiid is going to score 50 than not, because he's just kind of the offense around there. By the way, if you want to catch up on what the deal is with Karl Anthony Towns and Joel Embiid, Secret Base, the YouTube channel Secret Base, has a little series called Beef History, and they've got a 10-minute video on the history of Joel Embiid and Karl Anthony Towns. That came out in 2019, so that doesn't even cover all the stuff that's happened since then. But just up to that, very interesting stuff. We'll talk about that a little bit more. We're going to get to Big Jake's epic 14-leg parlay on the other side, and then we'll talk about the remaining 2 cup games that we're interested in tonight. Coming back, you're listening to Beat the Book here on 1580 The Fanatic.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Live and local.
Lowe's honors our military community this Veterans Day and every day. To say thank you, verified military members, veterans, and their spouses get 10% off everyday purchases, plus free silver key status with My Lowe's Rewards. It's our way of showing our gratitude to the brave people who have and continue to serve our country. Learn more now at lowes.com/military. 10% discount can't be combined with another offer. Exclusions, terms, and conditions apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
It's fall football on The Fanatic. Catch all the live game play-by-play, Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday day and night NFL games, plus the Saturday NCAA football game of the week. It's all right here on the Valley's home for football. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down, get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or Avastin-capted Pago is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Paid for by Estella's Pharma.
My pain is considerable, but that prescription is dangerous. The side effects of my medicine are worse than my condition.
I'm in recovery. I can't take those pills.
When faced with a health crisis, you shouldn't have to choose between risks. At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our medical doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men's and women's health. Our naturopathic doctors can restore pain-free joint function and restore balance in immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves immediate physical symptoms without having you take a bunch of pills. If traditional medicines aren't working, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161. Or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
The most important event in sports could happen at any time. Like right now. Or right now. Or even now. Don't miss history. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or at 1580thefanatic.com.
So before we get back to the breakdown here of the last couple of really, really interesting NBA Cup games going on tonight, Big Jake never got to share his 14-leg parlay from the other day that hit. So we'll go ahead and take a look at this. It's in FanDuel. He had Tyler Hero to score 15 points, Jimmy Butler to score 15 points, Devin Booker to score 20, Durant to score 20, Tyler Hero 2 made threes, Devin Booker 2 made threes, Bradley Beal 1 made 3, Kevin Durant to record 4 rebounds. You had to send this in 2 screenshots because it was so damn long. So we'll go ahead and get to the other side here where we get Tyus Jones with 4 assists, Bam Adebayo to record a double-double, Yusuf Nurkic to record 4 rebounds, Jimmy Butler to record 4 rebounds, Jimmy Butler to record 2 assists, Tyler Hero to record 2 assists, and Bradley Beal to record 2 assists. Each leg of the 14-leg parlay hit for Big Jake, and $8 turned into $200.09.
Very nice, Big Jake. So that was like a same game parlay on the Suns and Heat game.
Yeah,
from a couple of days ago. Okay, well that is a great win.
That is impressive.
So congratulations to you for that.
I think the shakiest part of that was the Bam double-double. And even that's not shaky, really.
No, but Bam is he's not stringing together a lot of
it used to be automatic
rebound games, right? I mean, he's very commonly getting like 7, 8, 9 rebounds now. So great call. Glad to see that you were able to win that bet. Hopefully you're able to cook something up for tonight. You've definitely got a lot of different games, a lot of different legs to be able to work with. Keon, let's jump over to this Dallas Mavericks and Golden State Warriors game because it is the long-awaited return of Klay Thompson to the Bay Area. This is a game where the Warriors are actually bringing in one of the top records in the NBA into this game. They're currently 8-2. The Mavericks have a 5-5 record. And just pulling up the pricing for this one on FanDuel, Golden State is currently the favorite to win. They are priced -144 on the money line. They are a 2.5-point favorite on the spread. And, there's going to be a lot of people buying into the hype of Thompson's return to Golden State. So, this has to be the Klay Thompson game. He's going to pop off. You want to bet him to get all these points, and that might happen. I'm not really crazy about that personally. I really like this game actually for Luka to have another chance to shine. This is one of the This is one of the national TV games. It's going to be on TNT. So that's right there a spot where Luka tends to really do his best. But if you look at the Mavs right now and their most recent games, they've been kind of falling a little bit into a tailspin. They've lost 3 out of their last 4, and their last game was against the Denver Nuggets. And this was actually a really close game. I happened to be watching it. The Mavericks had a couple of different opportunities in the final minute to either tie or win the game. And each time they were deferring to Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie's been scoring a lot of points lately. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world to just give Kyrie the ball in these final seconds, but he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't able to get any buckets. The Mavericks offense was completely stagnant in the clutch moments of that game against the Nuggets, and it tanked them. They ended up losing. So I think this is a game where Luka's going to try and take a little bit more control than normal. He does have those moments where, if the team is doing really well and he's distributing, he's going to, kind of cede to some other guys on the team, let them do better, let them get the spotlight. I think this is going to be more of a selfish Luka Doncic game. If you look at his scoring and with how efficient he's been from the field, his field goal percentage has been increasing steadily over the last few games. So he's getting a little bit more accurate. He shot 25% from three in that Nuggets game, and I think that was a big reason why he was kind of hands off the final seconds and he let Kyrie try and run the offense. So that didn't pan out. I think we see Luka kind of go back to, the kind of basketball that led to him leading the league in scoring last year. This is kind of interesting too. Through 10 games so far this season, we have not seen a Luka Doncic triple-double yet. He had 24 points, 9 assists, 9 rebounds that last game against the Nuggets. I think there's honestly a great chance this could be that first time where he gets a triple-double this season. Is there anything you're looking forward to about this game, Keon? Any big performances you're anticipating?
Yeah, I mean, outside of Luka, because I agree with you, I think Luka does take a little bit more control and does assert himself here. I think that Steph gets up for this game too. Like I just think that whenever you see those games where there's a narrative there and there's a chance for Steph Curry to steal the show, he typically does. And I think that because of the return of Klay Thompson, I don't think those Warriors want to see Klay Thompson come back and get the win in Golden State. It'd be one thing if the game were in Dallas. I don't know that it would be that urgent, but in front of the home crowd and a chance to get everybody pumped up and continue this unbelievable start for the Warriors. Because I didn't have this team as being 8-2 this early, potentially 9-2. I think that Steph has got the opportunity to really bring some attention back to Golden State and bring some momentum back to Golden State. And I also just think like defensively, I don't know how the Mavs are locked into things, because they were grilling Jason Kidd there at the end of that last game against Denver. Like it's getting uncomfortable at some of those press conferences with the local media in Dallas, which can be intense and can be really brutal. Dallas media does not play around. Like when you start losing basketball games, you should win. Any pro sport really, that they are starting to ask tough questions. And Jason Kidd's starting to get a little agitated. Like, I just think that this could get a little bit worse if the Mavs don't rein this one in.
So currently, Dallas and Golden State, they rank in the top 11 for the NBA for, allowing the least amount of points, and holding opponents to, the lowest amount of points there. You've got Golden State ranked number 7. They're allowing 109.4 points per game. And then you've got Dallas ranked at 11, allowing 110.1 points per game. So
yeah,
kind of similar numbers there.
Yeah. Golden State, though, with the second offense in the league, second best offense in the league, they're averaging 121 a game.
And that's where this is really going to differ, because not only is Dallas not countering the kind of offense that Golden State has been putting on the court every night, but Dallas is dealing with some injuries right now. PJ Washington is not expected to play in this game tonight. So that's just another, weapon that normally Luka would have at his disposal to try and, rack up assists and facilitate to. Well, he doesn't have that. So that's just another reason to be a little bit more selfish and to have to try and take control and put up the points for the Mavericks to win. But going back to your point about Stephen Curry, Curry, his offense is starting to really kind of explode a little bit. His last game against Oklahoma City, he had 36 points. He shot over 53% from three, and he still managed 7 assists in that one as well. He scored 24 or more points in 3 out of his last 4 games. And then you look at where Curry's points is priced right now. His line is 25.5 on FanDuel. So I mean, for him to step up alongside Luka, national TV primetime spot, NBA Cup game, This is just typically where you see the stars show out. And also to your point, Draymond Green and Stephen Curry do not want to see Klay Thompson come into their stadium and have a good game. So it's just extra incentive from them to play up, to their potential and to lead the Warriors to, a win. So that was another one that I was really looking forward to.
And we've got like maybe a minute here before we get out of here.
So real quick then, last game we were going to chat about was Bucks and Toronto Raptors. Milwaukee Bucks are in a very strange place right now. No Damian Lillard tonight. He is in the concussion protocol. Bucks are finding this season really slipping away from them. And you could potentially see this team decide to blow it up if they just continue to lose. And all of a sudden, it looks like the playoffs are not really achievable here. So again, another must-win game for the Bucks. They're an 8.5-point favorite at home against the Raptors. Raptors got Emmanuel Quickley back recently. They've been playing very competitive basketball. There is a chance that the Raptors could steal this one in Milwaukee. So I love the Raptors to cover at 8.5. Check out the other Beat the Book picks on the Beat the Book website. And tune in tomorrow. We'll talk about what happened here with the NBA Cup tonight. And we've got more NBA basketball tomorrow. So tune in.
That will be it for us. By the way, Giannis, look for him to potentially go off. It's about to be the Bel Air Academy offense starring Giannis Antetokounmpo. And that'll do it for us. This is Beat the Book right here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Hi, I'm Mike Ham with NFL.